G'day guys, Socket here. Today we're going to finish off our virtual tuning exercise with round 6 fine tuning. Now the tutorials on how to do the fine tuning are these ones here. I'll leave the links down below for you guys. But basically we're not going to be using the laptop or REW. Well, we will be using the laptop to manipulate the tune, but we won't be using the REW to do any measures or anything like that. We're going to finish the tune by ear. And so the first thing we're going to do is simply load the tune up and take a listen to how it kind of turned out and whether there are major problems or not. And then we're going to work speaker by speaker, checking the polarities and the centering, playing with the levels, playing with the delays, tweaking things around until we're finally happy with things. Now this is not a process that is pretty straightforward. I think I talk about it later in the video. It's more artistic than it is technical, and so you have to use your judgment. The more you do this, the better your ears will be, and you'll know what to kind of listen for. But it's very difficult to try to train somebody in this if they're not sort of sitting in the car and listening with you. But it's sort of going back and forth and playing with the levels and the delays and the settings until you're happy with the final result. So you can take that basic tune and carve or sculpt the tune to suit your own personal tastes. So this is once again another long video. It can be a bit boring in parts because I spend a lot of time going back and forth, but I promised that I would show you the whole tuning process, warts and all, and through this quite complicated part of fine tuning. So without any more introduction, let's jump into the car and get on with the fine tuning part. Hey guys, we're out in the BMW. We're going to do some fine tuning on this virtual tuning exercise tune that we've done over the last couple of weeks. So I've just loaded up the tune, and what we're going to do is just have a quick listen to see how it kind of turned out without any adjustments or anything. And then we're going to just make sure everything's properly centered up, it's all tonally balanced, and all that type of stuff. We're going to ignore the measurements and basically just use our ears for this part of the tune. So I've just got some chilly music, or chill music playing. This is safe. And I'm going to use the same music tracks that I used in the two-seat tune because I can play music using the Android and film using my iPhone. Okay, so first of all we're going to switch over to a track called Love Sign, or Love Signs by Jungle Giant, I think it is. So I'm going to turn the volume up to my normal listening levels, which are about minus 28, 27, 28 dB, something like that, and let's have a little listen.
Love signs, baby. Well, I'm picking them up. You've been beaming out, baby, all night long, leaving all those messages on my phone. Yep. Just us, baby.
Okay, well, just very quick little listen. Everything pretty centered. Now I'm getting a lot of imaging. The singer's voice is clear. There's not much semblance. The mid bass seems a little weak. Subs are up the front, but could probably do with a bit more kick. Yeah, it seems a little bright. So the tweeters or the mid seem a little bright, and that's okay. So what I'm going to do now is just, well, before we do that, let's play another track. This is Breaking Dread. Now this is good because the music sort of sweeps across the stage. Takes a little while to wind up. Okay, so same thing. Bass is there, but it's a little bit, yeah, it's a little bit wishy-washy. But otherwise it's imaging, like it's sweeping across the stage, no problems, nice and crisp. You know, it's bang, bang, bang right there. So, you know, the tune is not a million miles away. You know, most people would be pretty happy with that. But, you know, we're here to do some fine tuning. So we're going to start with the tweeters, and we're going to work our way down the speakers. So let's get on and do that. All right, so we're going to be using correlated pink noise for most of the tracks. So we're going to start with the two tweeters. The left tweeter is at negative 3.5 decibels. The right tweeter is at negative 6 decibels. So there's 3 dB difference between the left and the right. Now this is a right-hand drive car, so we expect the left-hand tweeter to be a little louder. So first of all, what we're going to do is check the center image, and then we're going to check and the polarity at the same time to make sure all that's right. So just play some correlated pink noise, and probably going to crank this up a little bit. I'm going to set that to minus 20 dB, and yeah, it's kind of in the middle here, pulling us a little bit to the right. Let's try a polarity flip. No, that splits the, you know, you can probably hear that. Okay, so that is the tweeters. So the polarity is fine with the polarity flip on the left high, on the left tweeter I mean, and then the right tweeter being normal. But yeah, that probably needs a little bit of centering. So we'll come back to that. I'm not going to touch any of the settings just now. I'm just going to check each of the speakers. So we're going to move on to the mid-range now. All right. Yep, so as soon as you flip the polarity, you can hear it sort of pulling, splitting the stage. So the polarity's fine, and the image is bang right in the middle there, but it's quite loud. If I play those speakers together, right, so this is the mids, that's the tweeters. And compared to the tweeters, the mids are a little bit louder, so we probably need to bring them down just a fraction, so they kind of sound about the same volume. All right, so that's fine. Let's move on to the mid bass. All right, let's play the mid bass. So, and once again, that sounds a little bit subdued, and in fact, the sound sounds like it's coming from my doors. So let's do a polarity flip and have a look at the polarity flip on the left mid bass, and bang, there we go. Do that again. Now it's there, right? Bang, right there. You can hear it concentrated, right here in the middle of this. So definitely the polarity is something wrong with the polarity. So if I turn that off again, bang, it disappears. It's way over here somewhere, right? So okay, great. Once again, I'm not going to change it. I'm just going to leave it as it is for the moment. And let's have a bit of a listen to these subs. All right, so let's start with the front sub first. I'm just going to play some pink noise. That's pulling down to the left because it's the only thing that's playing. Hear a few rattles. A fair bit of energy. All right, so that's the front sub. That's working okay. The rear sub is not as loud as the front sub. Probably needs to come up in level a little bit. but yep, that's fine. Let's play them both together. Yeah, I can definitely hear the front sub over the rear subs. Try a polarity flip. Can't really hear much of a difference. It's probably a little bit better with the polarity difference between the two. But I'm going to leave it on as normal. So at the moment I've got a polarity flip on the front subwoofer and a polarity flip on the right subwoofer. So they've got the same polarity, right? But it does sound just so tiny. It's just a tiny little bit different if I have one of these flipped the other way around. Okay, so let's bring in the mid bass and let's listen to that all together. Oops. All right, so okay, with the mid bass on, I can, it's coming from over there and it's coming from, my right shoulder. So we know that on the left mid bass, if we do a polarity flip, bang. Right, now it's up on the dash right there. That's sounding fine. Let's see what happens if I do a polarity flip on the front sub. Yeah, it's better with the polarity inverted. Let's try the rear sub. Yeah, it's really hard to tell. Might be a bit better with it actually flipped to normal. So this will be so what's going on is, we've got three speakers kind of playing roughly at the same range. So we've got the mid bass, the front sub and the rear sub. It's, so from our measures, this told us that we should have a polarity flip on the left mid bass and have both subwoofers also polarity flipped, right? So polarity flip on this fella here, and then on the two, there we go, and then on the two subwoofers, basically the same polarity on the subwoofers, right? So different polarity on the left and right mid bass, and the same polarity on the subwoofers. But now, just listening to this, it's telling me that we should flip this, turn that off, which gives us different polarities on the same polarity now on the mid bass, and on the subwoofers I need different polarities, right? So, but that's just by ear, right? It's not the way the measures we're measuring up at all. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go with those polarity settings, right? And because it definitely sounds better like that. All right, so like that and that. Now this might muck up the interaction with the mids and things like that, but that's the way it sounds. And we're going to start with the tweeters. So my evaluation so far of everything that we've listened to is I think the tweeters are a little bit off center, so they need to come across a little bit. The mids and the tweeters are a little bit bright. Everything else seems to be centering up quite nicely. And there's a few polarity flips and things that need to be done to the subs, but otherwise all the speakers are kind of in center, with the exception of the tweeters. So we're going to start by see if we can tackle those tweeters first, and go from there. All right, so I got some correlated pink noise playing with the tweeters. It's, not too far off. It's there, and I kind of want to bring it over a fraction so it's closer to the rear vision mirror. Okay, so we're going to start. We've got the left tweeter at minus 3.5 and the right tweeter at minus 6.5. So we can do a couple of things. We can either so we want it to pull to the left, right? So which means we want the left speaker to be sounding a little more, louder than the right speaker. So we can do a couple of things. We can increase the volume level of the left speaker and reduce the volume of the right speaker at the same time, so that we're not adding 5 or 6 dB to one side, and all of that stuff. So we're going to try to do that first. So once again, correlate pink noise, and I'm just going to flip between the two. So I'm going to first of all just start with half a dB, adding half a dB of volume. So that's already got me much closer to where I want to be, just half a dB. On the right, I might just drop it. What's that done? Yeah, no, I think probably right. That 3 sounds pretty damn good, right? That's right there. So, just half a dB off that one. Do I need to play with the right at all? Do I need to drop it a little bit more? Yeah, that's not making any difference. Just maybe a fraction. But that's pretty good. All right, so I'm pretty happy with that. So what, 0.25 of a dB on the right, and on the left, half a dB. What have we done? We've increased the left by half a dB, and we've decreased the right by 0.25 of a dB. I mean, tiny tweak, and that seems to pull it right into the middle. So let's just play something, with, it's not pink noise. I want something with some, bright tweedery stuff. Oh, this is just the tweeters playing. Okay, that's beautiful. So the singer's right there, right? I mean, it's pretty shrill, but that's okay. All right, so that's that done. So now I'm just going to sort of play everything together a little bit, just and bring the subs in, and just see what I think of those before I make any other changes. Turn that down a little bit before we blow our.
All night long, leaving all those messages on my phone. Just us, baby. It's only you and me. But when I call you up, I can never get through. Maybe when you're calling me, I'm calling you. Pick it up, pick it up.
All right, there we go. That's so much better. In terms of the mids and the tweeters and the subs, just flipping those polarities around has suddenly just made that whole bass end just so much fuller and got a lot more impact, and it's actually now more level with the mids and the tweeters. So I'm not sure I need to play around with that much more.
Pick it up, pick it up. Pick it up, pick it up.
All right, that's that one. Let me just try something else. No, it's pretty nice. Yeah, well, I think maybe the mid bass could come up a little bit. So well, before we do that, let's save and store this. And we're just going to save and store. Oops, nope, I'm going to make this version 1. Yep. Yes, I do. Thank you very much. All right, so that's now saved. Let's, I'm going to play and just bring in these, see if I can bring these two low, mid bass up a little bit. So that is at 0 dB, the other one's at 1 dB. So I'm going to link these two together like this. I'm just going to bring them up a couple of dB while we're playing. So I've increased that by 2 dB. It's got a bit more punch to it now. Let's try our
Love signs, baby. Well, I'm picking them up. You've been beaming out, baby, all night long. Leaving all those messages on my phone. Just us, baby.
and that sounds pretty damn good. I don't know that there's much more that I would do with this, to be honest. It's playing very crisp. Let's just try this track.
Okay, groovers. I will believe you if you say it's true. Girl, you know I love you more than any word spoken. I've seen you before. Turn and walk away. You say you won't come back. It's just okay anyway. Oh, we are hoping. Yeah, and we're praying. This time will be the last time. And we will fight like that.
Okay, well, yep, righto. So let's do an oldie. This is a really old track, but
I took my troubles down to Madame Ruth. You know that gypsy with the gold cap tooth. She's got a pad on 34th and Vine, selling little bottles of love potion number 9. I told her that I was a flop with chicks.
yeah, okay. So that there's a little bit of hiss in that guy's vocals. Maybe where's the mids? What I might do is just see if I can play around with the mids. Oops, don't do that. So just going to turn off all the speakers except the mids and see if I can just listen to the vocals and see what's going on with his voice. Might just be the track. I mean, the other tracks seemed pretty crisp. So let's just turn those other ones off. Give that a go.
I've been this way since 1956. She looked at my palm and she made a magic sign. She said, what you need is love potion number 9.
All right, so yeah, that doesn't sound as crisp as it could be. It may be the recording because it's so old. Let's try this again.
Okay, groovers. I will believe you if you say it's true.
I'm just going to play around with the delay and see if I can get any improvement. So I'm just going to play a little bit with delay, either the left or right, just on the mids. So let's see.
Girl, you know I love you more than any word spoken. I've seen you before. Turn and walk away. You say you won't come back. It's just a game in a way. Oh, we are hoping. Yeah, and we're praying. This time will be the last time that we will fight like this. No, I can't forget that we have fought before. I've seen inside your heart and I know it's breaking. We are open. Yeah.
Okay, it's sounding a little bit better. Let's try this now.
I took my troubles down to Madame Ruth. You know that gypsy with the gold cap too. She's got a pad on 34th and Vine, selling little bottles of love potion number 9. I told her that I was a flop with chicks. I've been this way since 1956. She looked at my palm and she made a magic sign. She said, what you need is love.
Yeah, really hard to pick. I'm just going to try some correlated pink noise. Okay, so what I'm doing there is just playing with the delay to see whether, I get more concentrated sound. So, as I play with the delay, you can hear the concentrated sound kind of move left or right. And, when it's sort of at its peak, up here, you've pretty much got it, exactly time aligned. That's another way of thinking about it, right? So if I turn that on, right, it's pretty much right there. Okay. And if I add some delay on, that's kind of moved. Now it's moving over to the left. Right, now it's moving over to the right, so I've gone too far. So that's bang right there. So that's 6.63. Uh, 6.64. So, that's pretty good. Let's just listen to that music again.
Okay, groovers. I will believe you.
Right, much crisper.
If you say it's true. Girl, you know I love you more than any word spoken. I've seen you before. Turn and walk away. You say you won't come back. It's just okay.
All right, so that's crisper, but doesn't quite have, like, it's almost gone, kind of made it a little bit flat, to be honest, but let's...
I took my troubles down to Madame Rue. You know that gypsy with the gold cap too. She's got a pad on 34th and Vine, selling little bottles of love potion number 9. I told her that I was a flop with chicks. I've been this way since 1956. She looked at my palm and she made a magic sign. She said, what you need is love potion number 9. She bent down and turned around and gave me a wink. She said, I'm gonna mix it up right here in the sink. It smelled like turpentine and looked like India ink. I held my nose, I closed my eyes. I took a drink. I didn't know it was a day or night.
All right, well, that's certainly better. So I'm going to add in these, oops, what am I doing? Now let's bring in these other speakers, 5, 6, 7, 8. No, I don't need 7 and 8 just yet. And the subs. Sorry, I'm mucking around here, guys. Yeah, so look, you can just play around with your gains and your delays, until you get it sounding the way that you want to sound. If you want your mid bass a bit higher, well, increase your mid bass a little bit, right? Let's see how this sounds.
I started kissing everything in sight, but when I kissed the top at 34th and Vine.
No, that's now I think we've thrown out the time alignment between the tweeters and the mids. So I'm going to put that back. That's certainly introduced a lot of hissing in that guy's voice. Let's try that again.
He broke my little bottle of love potion number 9. I took my troubles down to Madame Rue. You know that gypsy with the gold cap too. She's got a pad on 34th and Vine, selling little bottles of love potion number 9. I told her that I was a flop with chicks. I've been this way since 19.
All right, just taking a little bit of delay off that mid-range down to 5.55. Seems to have improved that. I'm going to go back to my other vocal track. Whoops, not there, not you. This one here. This one.
Okay, groovers. Okay, groovers. Okay, groovers.
Yep. You know what? The original settings sound the best. As soon as I move away from that 650, it seems to introduce some hiss, right?
I will believe you if you say it's true. Girl, you know I love more than any word spoken. I've seen you before, turn and walk away. You say you won't come back, it's just a game away. Oh, we are hoping, yeah, and we're praying.
All right, so yeah, it's somewhere between 6.5, 6.63. So I'm going to go with 6.55, right? That sounds okay to me. Let's try another track.
Love signs, baby.
Yep, sounds good. All right, let's do the same thing. Check out the tweeters. So turn everything off, and the subs, and just see just how, now that we've played around with the mids a little bit, it has that thrown things out on the tweeters. Shouldn't have, but yeah, there's a little bit of a I'm just going to play around with the timing on the tweeters, and I'll be right back. Okay, sorry about that, guys. I was sort of playing, going back and forth, back and forth. So I've landed on a timing of 6.98. And when I played the correlated pink noise, you know, bang, you know, right there at its loudest. And then if I switch over to one of the music tracks, and I'm just going to play this track. And turn it up quite a bit. That's really sharp, really sharp, but it's like fatiguing on the ears. So it means that the top end needs to be, you know, trimmed back a little bit. It's almost like painful to listen to. So I'm going to bring in the mids now.
You say you won't come back, it's just a game away. Oh, we are hoping.
All right, so that's that one.
I took my troubles down to Madame Ruth. You know that gypsy with the gold cap tooth.
Okay, so those vocals are nice and crisp. They're not semblance or, you know, all that stuff, which I'm very sensitive to. There's no echo or anything, but that top end tweeters are super harsh. So what I might do is we might just bring those tweeters down a little bit. I don't think that's actually going to help though. It's probably the, I probably need to reduce the, this super top end here a little bit, or maybe scoop out, you know, a little bit here. But let's just place some of this in excess track again, because
Okay, groovers.
so if I take the tweeters out,
I will believe you if you say it's true.
so now I'm getting that. So I'm just going to bring these tweeters down a little bit.
I've seen you before, turn and walk away. You say, okay, groovers.
That's better.
I will believe you.
beautiful. All right, so just a couple of dB off each of those tweezers just to take that harshness out just a little bit. I could probably even play with...
I took my troubles down to Madame Ruth. You know that gypsy with the gold cap too.
Just the EQ, a little bit on the EQ, both speakers. Yeah, I don't want to play around with this too much, but you know, it's probably around about... now what have we got that's super high in this area? Probably the 10,000 and above. Just going to knock a little tiny bit off this. Is that -4? What's this one? 10.9. This one here. It's got a 6 dB gain. I'm just going to drop maybe a dB and a half off that. And the same with this one. I'm doing this to both sides, right? And you know, over here it's the same. Just going to take a little bit out of that top end. Okay, sorry, should probably be focusing the, you know, now I could do a little more mucking around with that, but you know, this is really fine tuning, right?
She's got a pad on 34th and Vine.
Yes, that's it.
I told her that I was a flop with chicks.
All right, that's reduced it a bit. I could probably do a bit more work on that. I'm going to save this as version 2. You know, just make periodic saves in case we want to go back for some reason. Yep, so save that. All right, so that's fine. And I'm just going to check the... gosh, here we go. Just going to check the mid bass now, so turn that one off. Low and number 6. There we go. All right, so just check the vocals with this. I can unlink these two now. Hey, what are you doing there? That's better. Yeah, it's really hard to tell with the mid bass because it's not the mids, the mid bass. Sorry, the mid bass and the subs. They kind of they add stuff to the soundstage. They're hard to listen to by themselves, right? And I think we lifted the mid bass up a fraction.
Oh, you know I love you more than any word spoken. I've seen you before. Turn and walk away. You say you won't come back. It's just a game in a way. Oh, we are hoping. Yeah, and we're praying.
Sounds great. All right, so all I was doing there was just checking the polarity, and definitely needs to have that left mid bass polarity unflipped. Yeah, so I might even bring the mids and the tweeters down even just maybe a dB lower. Still seems to be a bit heavy in the mids. So I'm going to take that one, link that one, and these two. Come on, don't muck me around. And I'm just going to shave off, 1 dB, maybe a dB and a half on all the top end. And let's try that now.
I took my troubles down to Madame Ruth. You know that gypsy with the gold cap.
Yep, might have. I've taken a little bit off.
Love signs, baby. Well, I'm picking them up.
Yep, I might have just a fraction too much, so just going to raise that half a dB.
You've been beaming out, baby, all night long, leaving all those messages on my phone.
Beautiful. Okay, so far that's good. So we've got it kind of, so what I've been doing is getting it centered, then sort of playing with the delays to get the vocals nice and crisp. Now I'm sort of getting the tonal balance, working my way through the speakers to get it tonally balanced, and just playing with tracks that I know really well, and you know, just getting the mix of tweeter, mid bass and mids, you know, so that they're all, you know, one's not overpowering the others. That's sounding pretty balanced now. I'm just going to bring these subs in. They sound pretty well timed, but let's just bring them in now. Okay.
Love signs, baby. Well, I'm picking them up.
Beautiful. Okay, so very happy with all of that. All right, so that's I'm going to just save and store that as the same version. Save, boom, there we go, done. Now we're going to have a bit of a play around with the front fills and the rear fills, see if we can bring those in now. Now I've got them set up in differential rear fill, just to remind you how to do this, and we're going to go into the I/O. Here in the helix, if you can kind of see this, here in the helix, you know, we've got our main, our auxiliary and our digital. With our main, we want front, left, front, right, front, left, front, right. Now this is going to our fronts and our rear speakers, right? I've got them set up for rear attenuation on the helix, and down the bottom we've got left and right going to our subs, right? So they're getting a mono signal, and then we're doing the same on all the other channels. And then when we come to the output section, we got the left and right going to the tweeters, left and right going to the mids, left and right going to the mid bass. Then I've got left full, right full, negative 50% on my left front speaker, and negative 50 plus 50 on my right front fill, and then the same on my rears, right, like that. And of course my subs are half and half. Okay, so pretty much that's how the I/O is kind of set up. So let's go to output. So because we're running in differential, when you play Correlate Pink Noise, you should hear nothing or pretty much nothing at all. So I'm going to turn everything off and then turn on the front fills. Now the front fill speakers are these two black speakers here, and they're set up in differential rear fill, and what they're going to do is just add extra level to the left and right channels, right? So let's just play something. Let's play, I don't know, Love Signs again. Just make sure that they're both working. All right, they're pretty low. Oh, there we go. All right, we don't want them super loud, so let's see how they're going with the other speakers.
picking them up. You've been beaming out, baby, all night.
Yeah, okay, well they could probably come up a bit. They're a little bit low. Now I've got the rear attenuation, oops, you probably can't see this. The rear attenuation turned pretty much 80% up, so you know I want to be able to use that to increase and decrease the levels. So what I'm going to do is link these together, and I'm going to raise the level a bit. So the right is at -5, this one's at -3, so I've got 5 to play with, or 10 to play with. Alright, I'm going to bring this up to 0 dB, that's increased it by 5. No, that's that's amazing. So what that does is it just really lifts the whole sound stage. And now that I've got that sort of lifted up a bit, I can now widen this back and, you know, use this rear attenuation to give me the level that I want. You know, I can turn the whole. I can. Now I'll just turn that down a bit. I can turn the effect right down so it's almost off, and then I can bring it right up. And you know you've gone too far when you can hear the soundstage sort of pulling down towards the speakers, right? So it's just a little bit of an echo. That's too much. Okay, so what I'm looking for there is you should just be able to hear the effect. It shouldn't be too distracting. So, you know, that sounds pretty good to me. It's not pulling down, might knock a little bit off it, but yeah, that sounds fine to me. All right, let's listen to the rear fills. So just turn everything else off. What have I done? Get rid of that and get rid of that one. Okay, so we want the 2 rear fills on now, that one, and then turn those 2 off. Okay, let's see. Now, I don't have the rear fills put on rear attenuation because I'm using them for the front fills, but let's have a bit of a listen to the rears. Okay. Wow, they're loud. All right, let's just get those together, but making sure that they're centered first. So it's definitely pulling to the right a little bit. All right, that's because the left is at -3.5 and the rear is at 0, so it's too loud on the rear. So what I'm going to do is just unlink these and just bring the right rear full down a little bit. Okay, that's better. Till I can hear it kind of centering. That's a bit better. So what I'm hearing is the music should be behind my sort of left ear, right? In the middle. That's better. maybe even just a touch. Yeah, it's hard to tell. Let me try again. Sorry guys, but this is fine tuning. You just muck around till you're happy, right? Probably not the best track for this. Let's try. Yeah, it's better, much better. All right, but the levels are way too high. Let's bring in the others.
It's true. Girl, you know I love you more than any words spoken. I've seen you before. Turn and walk on.
Okay, so yeah, they're not too loud. I can't with the other speakers in. It's not as obvious. So what I'm going to do is, how much room have we got to play with? So link the two speakers together. The right rear is at minus 5.25. The other one's, oh gosh, dear me, sorry about that. Is at 3. So we've got a good 8 dB to play with. I'm going to have the left full displayed as I add volume. So I'm going to just keep adding volume until, you know, I can hear them sort of over the front music, okay? So here we go.
Away. You say you won't come back. It's just a game away. Oh, we are hoping. Yeah, and we're praying. This time will be the last time. And we will fight like
Wow, okay, so there, now nearly 6 dB up. You know, I'm getting more of a surround sound effect now. Yeah, I'm going to try a different track and just see.
love signs, baby.
All right, I'm pretty happy with that. So, you know, 3 to 3.5. I might just drop it back to 3. So that is the rear fill. What is going on? No, that's right. Yeah, the rear fills. Okay, I haven't got the subs brought in yet, so this is going to kick like hell. All right, let's try that one more time.
Well, I'm picking them up.
Oh yeah, wow. Okay.
You've been beaming now.
Phew. Righto. So that is the rears all dialed in. And let's do the front fills. Let's listen to everything together. right, so yeah, sounding okay. And I'm going to call that done. Yeah, that sounds pretty awesome. So that is tuning virtual tuning exercise final. Let's put a big capital F on the front of that and save that, and we are done diddly-un. Okay, there you go, guys. We'll just start up this track. Bit of background music, there we go. So that's it. That is how you do the fine tuning. As I said, it's a bit difficult to describe because you know, there's yeah, it's more artistic than it is you know, scientific, I guess, when it comes to trying to, you know, dial all that stuff in. You just need to keep playing around with the delays, with the levels, with the timing. Oh, I've already spoken about that. I don't generally play with the EQ, maybe a little bit if there's a problem area like you saw, just a little bit off the top end. I could have probably used a low shelf filter to sort of bring the whole top end down just a little bit. But yeah, or you could use the virtual channel in in the Helix DSPs, you know, to leave your tune and then, you know, shape, you know, that harsh top end. You know, I might have taken a little bit out using the virtual channels. There's lots of different ways to do it, but you just keep fiddling around until you're, you know, pretty happy with the end result. So, you know, I'm looking for clarity, I'm looking for image and instrument placement, you know, with the rear fills and things, but the effect is not overwhelming. It's not pulling the sound back or, you know, muddying up the front stage. You know, it's just adding that little extra bit of sparkle and pulling the sound stage out. You know, but there you go. Yeah, so there you go, guys. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed that. Thanks for watching, and as always, I'll catch you in the next episode.